what we've done is we've moved over to a tree and we've put a split ring, a metal ring here, which we're going to use as the basis to tie a net. We've secured that to a piece of paracord to a tree. Now what we're going to do is, first of all, you need to put your cord onto this ring. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the needle through. We're going to twist and hold, we're going to hold the cord there, throw a loop over the back and take that needle back through the ring and pull that tight. And what we'll do that twice to lock it in place. Right, that is now securely locked on the ring. Normally when you make a net, the cordage goes from left to right. You always make it left to right. This is the only instance where you go right to left. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to put the ring on top of our mesh gauge. We're going to throw a loop and we're going to take the needle through the front of the ring and we're going to pull that down tight. Then we're going to throw another loop and back through the ring and lock that in place, and we'll take that tag in through. So that's now locked. See that on there. Take the cord behind, up to the ring, throw a loop, take the needle through the ring and pull it tight, hold, throw a loop through the ring, pull it tight to lock. I'm only going to do about 6 meshes, so I'll do these very quickly. So up, throw a loop and through, pull down, lock, throw a loop, needle through, pull that down to lock it, behind, through the ring, lock, pinch up with your thumb, throw a loop of cord, go through, and pull that down tight. Loop and through, grip, through, pull that tight. Right, one more, so behind, pull the cordage up and grip, throw a loop of cord through the ring, pull it down, put your thumb on there, throw another loop, pull that through. Now what I do, so we've got 6 loops on there, what I'll do now is I'll just throw another loop on that, take that through, just to lock that off. So now I'll take that off, there's the meshes for the beginning of our net. Okay, so we've got our first line of our very basic net done, and these being the first row here. So what we need to do now is to expand on this. So with our mesh gauge, which is 2¼ inch, what we're going to do is place the cordage in front of the gauge, and needle is going to come up from behind through the first loop like so, and we're going to pull that down tight, you see there, to the top of the gauge. We're going to pinch that with our thumb and we're going to throw a loop of cord round. Now on here, if we zoom in on that, on here you can see that there's now 3 pieces of cord. So you've got one there, one there. So what we're going to do is with the needle, because this is nylon, you need to knot it twice. If it was a natural fibre such as hemp, you only need to knot it the once. What we're going to do is pinch that there with our thumb. We're going to throw a loop of cordage around, and we're going to bring the needle behind 2 and pull that through, and then we're going to bring it behind 1 and pull it through. And then when we pull that down, get that tag end out of the way. There you go. So from behind through the next loop, pull that down tight to the top. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to throw a loop, and again we're going to go behind 2, pull that through, and then we're going to go behind 1, pull that through, pull the knot tight, and then we just repeat that process. So we go through the next loop, we pull that down, we throw a loop around, go behind 2, behind 1, pull that tight, through the next loop, tight to the top of the gauge, behind 2, behind 1, and pull that tight. Next loop, bring it down to the top, and it's the same process all the way through. Behind 2, behind 1, pull that tight. There's our last loop from behind, pinch it, go behind 2, so there's the 2, just in there, behind 1, pull that through, we take that off. There is the next row of your net. Now, because you always work from the left, string's now on the right hand side, just turn it, we're now on the left, and then you carry that process on. So I'll do one more row, so through, pinch that, let's put this down so you can see it. So we've gone through the loop, we're going to throw a loop of cord round behind 2, there, behind 1, and pull that tight. Next loop, which is here, let's actually bring this up. Next loop is here, so needle behind, through to the top of the gauge, behind 2, behind 1, pull that knot down. So through, pinch, throw a loop, behind 2, behind 1, pull. The next loop, cut through, pinch it down, throw a loop round, behind 2, behind 1, pull it down. Through that loop, throw a loop of cord round, behind 2, behind 1, pull it down. Last loop on that row, down, behind 2, behind 1, and pull. And as that comes off, you can see the beginning of a net. Now what you actually have here with this is the beginning of a purse net. Albeit the ring here, you wouldn't use a split ring, you'd use a rabbit ring, which is a solid metal ring, and you would use a different cordage, but you have there a very basic net. I'll carry on with this a bit, just make it a little bit longer. In fact, what I'll do, if I zoom right out, you'll be able to see the process of throwing a loop around. So I'll do another couple of rows with the camera zoomed out so you can see the process a little bit better. Okay, we've repositioned the camera so you can see the process a little bit better. So the gauge comes there, needle goes to the loop behind, pull that tight, throw a loop of cordage round, through 2, through 1, pull tight, through the loop, pull it down, throw a loop, behind 2, behind 1, pull it down, through the loop, throw a loop, behind 2, behind 1, pull it down, through the loop, throw a loop, behind 2, behind 1, pull that down, loop, throw a loop, behind 2, behind 1, pull it down. Last one for this row, like so, pull it over, throw a loop round, behind 2, behind 1, put it down. That's that row finished. So I'll do another row. That's that row done. It's got the beginnings of a nice little net. So I'll do a couple more rows and then we'll keep this very short. But what I'll do then is once I've done a couple more rows, I'll show you how to cast the net off on the end and finish it off. Okay, I've added a few more rows to the net now. We're now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows long. So what we'll do now, we'll put the final ring on the bottom. Again, I'm using a split ring because I haven't got any rabbit rings. And this will finish the net off and make effectively a small hammock or the beginnings of a purse net. So to finish it off, take the needle, push it through the ring, so now the ring is free sliding on the cord. And what we're going to do is, this is your first loop here, you're going to bring the needle up behind, same as you would before. Now you're not using a mesh gauge now, what you're doing is bringing that loop there to the top of that ring, like so, and pinch it. Now that's one way to do it. What I like to do is I like to take the needle through twice and through that ring again. So you now have a double. Pinch it there, and then the process is exactly the same. You throw a loop, you go behind 2, you go behind 1, like that, pull it tight, which locks it. Now what I like about this is it locks that cord onto that ring really securely. So onto the next one, you go through the front, behind, through the front again, and then through that loop again. Try not to make a boo-boo, as I've just done. Okay, so it's not an issue, we just undo that. So all I've done is I've wrapped the cordage round the wrong way. Alright, there we go. So now we're going to go through again, and then through that same loop. So we now through it twice, pull that down tight to the ring and hold. Go through, behind 2, behind 1, pull it tight. So through the front, through there, through the front, through there, and pull tight. Throw a loop, behind 2, behind 1, and pull tight. So through the front, through the loop, through the front, through the loop from behind, pull that down to the ring, throw a loop, behind 2, behind 1, pull it tight. 2 more to go. Through the front, through the ring, go through there, pull that up tight, hold it tight, throw a loop, behind 2, behind 1, pull it tight. Get through, behind, and then through, from behind, pull that down tight, throw a loop, behind 2, behind 1, pull it tight. Now what you can do with that, you can cut that off there, which will give you a little purse net, or what you can do is take, I'll move the camera around slightly, here is your first loop. So what you can do is you can come up, find that loop, come through, pull that tight, then go round, behind 2, behind 1, pull that down tight, and what you've done is you've taken your spare end, you've taken it up the net so it's out of the way. Then you can cut that tag end off, and then what we can do is bring that out, take it off of the string. So there you have it. Albeit this one's a tiny little net, you can see there of the makings of a purse net. It has to be a bit longer, slightly wider, which would be perfect for trapping small game. All you would need to do with that is to run a loop fixed at one end, the spare ends here, so as soon as the animal runs through it gets caught in the net. If you're inclined, had the right cordage, a strong enough cordage, you can make a hammock for yourself, or even make a small hammock for storing your equipment in overnight when you're camping, so it's off the ground, out the damp and the wet. Use it in the garden as we do, or use it as part of a trapping system for trapping small game and birds. Anyway, I hope you found it of interest, hope it's been useful. All we can say is thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.